Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to the Monday Night Live show. So we're just talking a bit of nonsense off air, as we do. Welcome to everyone tuning in. Loz, your appointment begins in 1 minute. Good luck with the appointment. Is that with us, I assume? John, welcome. Looking forward to a good show. Tuning in from Taz. Is it must be pretty chilly down there, I imagine, if it's cold up here in Melbourne. But how are you two gents going?
Excellent.
Yeah, well, it was a bit flat, to be honest with you. You know, I read CB's tweet that he had a manicure, a fucking mud bath, body wax. Then he had a few odd jobs to go. I'm thinking, the life that they live in the country, you know, we just don't have that standard. And he look at him, he looks 14. You know, he's fresh.
Jesus.
He looks amazing.
Shaved today. I haven't trimmed it back.
You can't tell, mate. You just look like, I'm going to call you Sean Connery from now on. You carry that
really tight.
You know who you look like? Richard Dreyfuss. That's who you look like.
No, I'm going with Sean.
Bring up Richard Dreyfuss.
Sean pulled Catherine Zeta-Jones, mate. Come on.
Bobby, good evening, everyone. How are you?
Bobby.
Jack, greetings. Riveting listening coming up. Yeah, Nick.
Oh, I had a fantastic thing happen to me today.
Go on.
I held an erection for 12 hours straight.
Oh, God. No, we don't.
Amazing.
That
was amazing. Oh, I'm proud of it. I timed it and everything. Can I see the video? Look at my phone.
No, we don't need to see the video. But no, it's an interesting game. Interesting sporting events on the weekend. We're better off talking about the Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier fight, aren't we? That was the only thing that happened on the weekend. And Ash Barty winning Wimbledon. How good was that?
You know what shipped me off? This is my weekend, CB. You know, you're having your mud bath and Michael's is probably eating chocolate. I see my country, my birth country, Spain, get done for penalty shootout. It was like a Richmond game. We outplayed them, had more shots on goal. We just couldn't convert, right? And they beat us in penalty. Then, you know, what the trials and tribulations were going with the Tigers. But thank God for Ash Barty, mate.
How good was she?
She's a champ, mate. She bleeds yellow and black, and you can tell how she carries herself. She's a true Richmond person.
Yeah, that was an absolute superstar.
Yeah, it was a very, very good win. So, no, congratulations, Ash. On to our game, though, CB. Where do we begin?
Let's do it.
You've had a pretty shit last 4 weeks because you lead off with these ones and you've not had much joy.
Mate, I think it's going to continue. But anyway, a team called the Skunks defeated the mighty Richmond Football Club called Richmond 87-71. Big Tommy Lynch, 3 goals. So that's about 8 goals in 2 games. Good returns.
Very good.
Baker popped up, 2 snags. Jaden Short, 31 disposals. Bolton, 26, and Camden McIntosh and Jack Graham, that is, with 23 each, with the main sort of stars on the stats board. We'll get straight into it, boys. The new Rioli role. Did you like it, Michaels? What are your thoughts on it?
I actually did like it. I don't know whether it was because I was specifically looking out for it to see how he went, but I like his closing speed in the defensive half. I think it applies a lot of pressure. He had a couple of good spoils over players that were significantly taller than him, but he got the run and jump at it. I didn't mind it. What about you?
I'll go Tiggs. What do you think, mate? Do you like it?
Yeah, I liked it in the sense that I saw his pace start to return. Obviously, I was watching it on the TV. It was my son's 16th birthday on Sunday. It looked to me like his pace started to return, which I've obviously noticed has been missing, but he still wasn't involved as consistently as he should have been as a halfback flanker. Halfback flanker is the simplest position to play on a football field. It is the ball comes to you, and you have a man, but you can dictate the play, and he didn't do it.
He's still learning it though. He's only been doing it for a couple of weeks, and
but he's been playing football.
I know. But
I cut kids slack, and I've been a big defender of Rioli. But at the end of the day, when they did his shift to the halfback flank, he's an intelligent footballer. He's proved it in preliminary finals and finals. And he had a poor game, in my opinion. For someone with his tank to be able to not stay in the game for the length of the game, was disappointing.
Okay. I actually liked it. I thought it worked. And watching him, the areas he was going to and the way he was moving, I definitely want to see more of Rioli down back to see how it works out, because I thought it was a pretty good move, actually. I thought it was a really inspired piece of decision making. And like I said, we've got another 6 games to go. So let's hope that they leave him there and
just let him learn it in the AFL. Just there's nothing to lose or nothing to gain by letting him play it in the VFL, because they've got hardly any players left and they're going to get smacked anyway. I mean, no disrespect to them, but just because of the nature of the injury list. So let him learn the craft against the better players. And to Bobby's comment, and a few other people in here as well, I liked the combination of Rioli and Mansell, just that speed, the hunt. Despite, really not getting a bucket load of possessions, we do know that his speed and his chasing ability is pretty prominent, and so is Mansell. So I did like that little 1-2 combo.
And very good, very good skill. Okay, lads, on to the next little topic. Trent Cotchin playing crook, and he is clearly labouring. Should he be rested regardless of the strength and the experience of our midfield around the ball? Tiggs, you can lead off on this one. What do you think?
Preferred, if I can, just on Mansell. Are we going to talk about any other players? Are we going to talk about the game at all, or are we just talking about the players that
you like, learnt and dislike coming up.
Okay,
so I think we'll just talk about if you saw the agenda, mate, you'd know this.
Yeah, Cotchin's playing look, he's been playing injured, I think, for a while, which is plain to say. But yeah, I prefer we don't play him. That's my personal opinion. He gave nothing on the weekend. A little fits and spurts, but the he's broken. His body's broken. He can't give that second or third gear. And as a midfield, you need to be able to do that. He had flashes where he, after a long rest, he came on and really contributed, but they're only like for 5-minute bursts. And he needs a full-blown rest.
Michaels?
Yeah, you can't disagree with that. I want people to think we're taking pot shots at the skipper, because we're not. We respect him greatly for what he's done, but I feel like our hands are sort of tied behind our back a little bit with all the other players we've got out. Is it kind of forcing our hand to keep him in the side? I'm not too sure, but there's definitely something a little bit not right. And that, to Lee's point, I've noticed that the last few weeks is his reluctance to kick on his right foot for whatever reason. It's very bizarre on times where he's quite clearly got an easy right foot, easy option. He goes on the left. But if there's something not right with him, whatever it might be, I would rest him up. I mean, I don't want it to sound defeatist, but reality is the season's pretty much done for us with the players we don't have available. There's just not enough time to get back into good form, I don't think. So I would rather preserve his body a bit and reload for 2022 if he's got niggles.
Yeah, I agree. I think at the moment he's in struggle city, and I get it. He's trying to lead from the front, and he's trying to show leadership, and he's trying to help. But at the moment, I think he's borderline with the fitness he's got. He's almost a hindrance because they're just running off him. And I would rather again put the kids in and just see what they've got, because unfortunately for Trent, he's that banged up that I'm actually concerned. Like he's getting done. And the last one, boys.
So just to further clarify, that last quarter was a prime example. We were getting absolutely hammered in the middle because it was almost 2 versus 3 mids, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know we tried to do the right thing and put the leaders in there, but it just wasn't working.
And look, just to be clear, I don't know if anyone caught me on saying no one's a bigger fan than Cotchin than 3 of us.
We love it.
No way am I sitting here suggesting that he shouldn't be playing next year. He just needs a rest, get his body fresh. And that's what the off-season's going to have.
And to be fair, if you look at our strategy for the last few years, when we haven't been as decimated in the one line, we've been able to manage his game time and not drop him, but rest him for games. He hasn't had that. He's had to play through whatever he's got, and you can tell it's starting to catch up.
Absolutely. And I guess the last one, boys, and I'll lead off with you on this one, Michaels, the return of Sydney Stack. How'd you view it?
I loved it. I thought he was really, really good. I know, the jury might be at him for a lot of people. He owes us a lot, I guess, with how we stood by him through all the shit that went on. But his aggression at the ball, his tackling, his chasing, I really enjoyed Stacky's game, and I hope he stays in.
Tiggs, how'd you like it?
Yeah, I agree. I tweeted, you can tell Stack was playing for his career. What I meant by that, it wasn't like he must have a good game or he's going to get delisted. I reckon he knows he's going to be picked. He's going to stay again. But he played like someone that owes himself something, like he's, and the club something. And he was urgent at the ball. He didn't do those little laconic jogs around. When it was in his area, he went at it. He blew up. He blew up, obviously, but Travis has got it on. He looked AFL standard. Yeah. He should play every game for the rest of the year.
Yeah, agree. The season's over, right? We need to accept this. So now it's about a view to next year. And if Sydney Stack is part of next year, then they must play him for the rest of the year. And what we saw, even though he ran out of gas a little bit towards the end, he certainly wasn't disgraced, and he certainly wasn't our worst player. And I really was really happy with the way he returned back to the senior squad. We'll quickly get into our liked, learned, and disliked. Tiggs, what have you got, brother? Let us have it.
Okay, all right. I'll fire it off. Liked. I liked our kids. I loved seeing Mansell. The reason I was a bit hard, one of the comments meant I was a bit harsh on Rioli, and you've got to keep in mind, Rioli only had 15 disposals, right? So he only had 5 kicks and 10 handballs, 3 marks, and only 1 tackle. Compare that to Mansell, who has hardly played in a senior game compared to Rioli. So he had more excuse to his tank to blow up, but he had the same amount of disposals, but he had 8 kicks, 7 handballs, 2 marks, and 3 tackles. So what I mean by that is Rioli should be better than what Mansell is, even if trialling a new role, because he has all that depth of experience. And for me, he didn't step up. But look, I liked he ran at the ball, so I was hoping so. But what I really love, Mansell plays like a 200 gamer. I tweeted that. I said, we've found someone here. I can see him playing in our next couple of premierships. So I really loved that. I really loved looking at Lynch, how free he's moving. 3 goals. He wasn't getting anything given to him. Loved the fact of in Stack's game. Really loved that. So, yeah, there was a lot to take out of it to see our kids, RCD kick a goal, Mansell step up. Liked it. Yeah, liked that a lot. What did I learn? Probably goes a little bit with my dislike, but, yeah, I'll try to keep the dislike out of it. All right, what I learned for me that, and it kills me to say it, it really kills me to say it, but I don't think Nash is going to make it. I'm sorry, it's not a dislike because it's not his fault. But he has been given opportunity now. We scream for him to get that opportunity, but he's just not taking it with 2 hands. He does some nice things well because he is a good disposal, but he's not evolved enough. He shirks contests, and he's built his frame up. So I don't want to say that's a dislike, but, yeah, I learned that. I also learned that when our senior group is not performing well or not playing on the park, the leadership depth in the centre of the ground is a real concern. And that means when people call out Jack Graham, should I be our next captain, it worries me because he plays that role. And, players like Arts and all the middle tier players, they look all at sea. And, I'm not having an attack at Jack Graham here, but I don't see a leader stepping up in the midfield where Koch can't do it all his own and trying to take some of that load. So, which is a good thing. It gives Graham something to work on. Hopefully that's noticed within the club. And what I disliked was 2 things. And it breaks my heart because I know CB and I know Michaels, you love the guy. Oh, you love him. But McIntosh last year, he made gains. He has perfect work rate. You can't knock him, right? You can't knock his work rate. You can't knock his heart. You can't knock his hardness at the contest, right? He's done some special things for the club last year. This year, I don't know if he's gone off and he's thought, I had a great year. The urgency tapped off a bit, but he's gone backwards at a rate of knots. Yes, he still works hard. Yes, he supports the defence. But I fucking tell you, if I see him get a ball and butcher it as often as he butchers it, it is killing me. It is soul-destroying. I weep on Sunday, not because of the score. It was because we were having a positive chain. We broke clear. McIntosh has got the ball, and he fucking turns it over. Now, is he the only one? No, right? But out of every 10 disposal, he'll turn it over 7 times, and it's fucking shitting me to tears. So maybe he needs to take a break off the wing. Maybe put him in the forward line. Look, it got so bad, he refused to kick short. He just kicked long, right? Because he knew he's got no confidence in his short game, which hurts us, particularly too when we decided we're not going to be playing Caddy anymore for whatever fuck no reason.
No, he's been injured. Caddy's been injured, mate. Now he come back on the weekend, and he's best on ground.
Yeah, but he should be, So McIntosh needs to either go forward or play him in the guts even. Make him a Shane Tuck. He can get the contest and just fucking kick it wildly forward. That would work. That would create chaos. So hopefully the coaching department goes to work. And the second thing that's really shit me, and I hope Short fucking gets this through his head, I hope someone takes Short around and goes, Short, you're a JD melodist. You're a fucking great player. You're letting yourself down, son, because if I see you go behind a player that's got the ball and receive it and then kick it in your non-preferred foot, which 9 times out of 10 you fucking turn it over or don't get the penetration, you're doing it every game. Look, his disposal, he had 31 disposal, and I love Short, and I have no pleasure on it. But I challenge anyone to tell me a worse 31 disposal game other than Mitchell from Hawthorn in a game of football. He had no effect. Yes, he had meters gained beside his McIntosh, but more often those meters gained led to turnovers. He wasn't damaging. He didn't.
Mate, we were leading for 3 quarters.
No, but he wasn't. That's what I'm saying. But it wasn't due to his. It wasn't due to Short. No, my opinion differs. My opinion differs. For what he shows, he continually is getting the. I disagree. I think Short calling for that handball all the time and then turning the ball over or kicking it wide or floating it. He's better than that. And that's what I dislike. So I hope to have a word with him and get him to play his natural game. And my last dislike, no, actually that would be it for me. I've got something on my Tiger Den. I'll leave it for that.
Go, Michaels.
I take your point on Short, but I like that at least he's actually trying to create. Yeah, it doesn't come off, but at least he's having a dip. I liked Baker's game. 2 goals. Played a bit of a mix up forward, and I can't remember if he spent time in the guts or not, but I really liked his game. I know he's been a little bit up and down, but that was a good one from Baker. I learnt that, and it's Captain Obvious, but Nankervis is such a pivotal player to our side, and this is no disrespect to Troll, but if Nank's playing that game, maybe we get over the line. I'm not too sure. I mean, Grundy's a gun ruckman in his own right, but I feel bad for Trolley because he's flying solo a little bit at the moment, but we just really miss Nank and I just disliked the fade in the last quarter. We were doing fairly well. I know the young kids are going to run out of gas, but as someone put in earlier, it's the mid-tier players and the guns that are kind of letting us down, and that's the frustrating part when watching the game. I can cop it on the chin if the kids are struggling a little bit, that's fine, but it's when your known quantities are dipping out, it's a bit frustrating, CB.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've covered a lot of the points. I really like the return of Stack and Dan Riola's game at the halfback. I believe saw enough where it could work. Learnt, season's over. It's time to get the surgeries done so the kids have got. So I guess in my mind, I'm a lot more at peace now. Now that in my mind, the season's called, we can now sort of plan for the next sort of 6 weeks and see what we got. And as far as the dislike, mate, I don't really, apart from losing to Collingwood to begin with, it sucked that we lost a milestone game for Dave Asprey, who's been a wonderful warrior for the club. So I was a little bit savage on that. But unfortunately, it is what it is. And we've got Jack's 300th coming up, so he's hoping we fly the flag a little bit better. I'll let you run the rest of the show now, Michaels.
Yeah, we'll get straight into the bloodbath. Before you do, though, listeners, start getting your questions ready because we will have an open floor for listener questions soon. But CB, what bloodbath have you got this week?
It was a hard one, actually. I really struggled with this one. So I called this one Tigers of Old Become the New Tigers of Bold. That's probably the title's probably the best thing about the whole thing, I reckon. But we'll see how we go. So what if I was to tell you there was a coach available that rebuilt a club that was the worst since Fitzroy on its deathbed and ultimately won grand finals and produced multiple All-Australians and 2 Brownlow medalists. Would you be interested? Would you trust their judgment to get the job done, to get the club back on track? I think the answer would be a resounding yes. I can understand the hurt and anger at how the season's panning out, and certainly frustration at how we finished on Sunday night in the last quarter. But would you take the three-peat and then we rebuild, or would you take the down year for the longer-term crack at winning a couple more down the line? Well, we now know one thing. The three-peat is gone, and that's okay, because 3 flags in 4 years is a Herculean effort. Struggle to speak there. It's very hard to do. If you listen to Damien Hardwick's press conference on Sunday, what you'll see is a glimpse of the future moving forward. The education RCD is getting, you can't put a price on. Pendlebury, arguably a top 10 player in the history of the whole Collingwood Football Club, absolutely schooled him in the last quarter. But in the long term, he's going to be better for that. Sydney Stack reminded us of his talent. Riola displayed a versatility in a new role we didn't see coming. Mansell was hard at it. Dow will be better for the run after returning from illness this season. And CCJ was showing some promise before injury. The point being is we have a talented coach who knows how to get the job done. We gain an extra line coach in the off-season, which will certainly help us, particularly after losing Flybags and Leper in one hit at the conclusion of last season. My advice is trust the club, trust the coach. This is just a bump in the road along the journey. Just watch and appreciate what we have and support the boys regardless of the result. The last 10 years plus has been a wild ride. Who's to say it can't be done again? I wouldn't bet against Hardwick. He's a hard, tough bastard who's still hungry. And my last point is please get to the MCG on Friday. Jack deserves our love and support. He's just an absolute champion, 300-game legend of the club.
Absolutely, he is. No, it's very well said. And, I think it's okay to accept that the season's probably done. That's okay. It doesn't mean the dynasty or the era's over. It's just a little bit of a hiccup, as you said. So stars didn't align this year, and that's all right. But we will definitely reload Tiggs.
Yeah, my Tiger Den is more about being inspired by listening to the filth ringing back talkback. Right, the Collingwood supporters, they're trolling Twitter, ringing talkback, and their point of view, and gloating on the win, and good on them. Without them realising by gleefully doing what they do, or any side is, they celebrate beating us as if they've won a grand final. We all know that with Collingwood, particularly with their preliminary shit. So it got me thinking, and there was and this is shout out to Moz. I think that's what was your name. I could hardly understand you because I didn't like you spoke English that well. I thought you were drunk. But when you rang through and you went on your tirade about how our dynasty's over, we're done, Collingwood's killed us off, and how great it is, it got me to look at the two clubs, and everyone is getting pretty. And look, we're guilty of it too. We had supporters after the game that were saying, our players are soft, weak, they're not playing for Hardwick, and we can go on too. But the reality is simply this, and this is the way I see it. Let's look at the side that just beat us. Collingwood, right? Good on them. They haven't got a coach. They sacked their coach this year. They've got no draft picks, right? They haven't, right? They're going to.
Have they got a recruiter?
Hmm?
Have they got a recruiter yet?
I'm not even sure, but maybe they'll call Matt Reddendell and he'll give them a chop out. They're getting day costs, so that should fix everything. But they'll probably get one player and then 2 other spuds because they've got no other currency, right? And they're sitting on, they're sitting where they're sitting this year. Keep in mind, they've got some injuries, but they've got their full midfield complementing. That's it, right? So if you're a Collingwood supporter, what is really going to change next year outside your coach and some new personnel? Not much. With us, on the other hand, I'll woof off a couple of names. Now, just tell me, anyone, I challenge you, particularly Facebookers or anyone else that's listening to me say it now. I challenge you to tell me we're not going to have a better year just on this fact. Lambert, Cochin, Prestia, Broad, Bolter, Nankervis, Soldo,
Edwards.
I'm missing Edwards, and I'm missing 2 others, right? Say Lynch missed 7 weeks. I'll put Lynch in there. All right, so let's say the 9 players. that they all have extended 4 weeks off. We're not making finals, so they have an extra 4 weeks off. They have a long pre-season and Gloucester, long pre-season to get their bodies fresh and conditioned, recover from all the finals campaigns. Just that alone, if injury God's willing, if we're as injuries-free as you can be compared to the other sides, we get a good run. That's a scary proposition. Now, then add to the fact we're hunting for a new coach, right? We've got things in play to bring some talent in, and we've also got elite kids. We've got picks to actually pick elite kids. And we've probably got one of the best coaches in the league in Hardwick. Because don't misunderstand it. CB highlighted it. He got us from worst level as Fitzroy, crafted us into an elite game-changing of a team. And he's going to have a refresh of young talent back into a side, surrounded by that 9 players I just mentioned. Who in their right mind does not think our dynasty cannot stay open? I can. And that's with us not making wholesale changes or selling the future. That's just continuing as we're going. So I reckon for us, this is a great thing. Don't get so down on the club. Just take it as, okay, this is the year we had to have. Everything went wrong that could go wrong. A lot of it's outside the club's control, and you can't dictate injuries. They're a professionally run organisation, like CB said. Back them in. Enjoy the little wins. I tweeted that before the game. Enjoy Mansell, RCD. Enjoy, seeing the kids, Rioli or Stack, for example, regain before. Enjoy that and you'll have a better season. But, yeah, we've got to smash it next year. Trust me. I said it. Any flogs that are just lurking on that don't like us, I'll put a wager on with anyone. And watch me return serve 100-fold next year. It's going to be glorious, guys. So just enjoy. This is Christmas Eve. Christmas Day is coming. And it's going to come next year.
Okay. Just listening to what you said, there was one player I was against playing, but now we've got 6 weeks. I'm actually swinging, and I want to see Morris Rioli Jr. get a crack at it. Just give him a game or two.
Yeah, he needs
to see what he's got.
Exposure. We've got nothing. We're not going to go in and give him exposure. I reckon everyone on the list that hasn't had a game, Miller gets 3 games. Find a spot for him.
Well, he's been injured, mate.
No, Miller played on. Is he got injured? I didn't see the VFL game. He got injured.
It must be his first game back then because he's been crooked. That's why he hasn't played.
He played against Williamstown. I mean, the game last week he played. Miller, I'm talking about the defender.
Yeah.
He played the last game. I watched it on fucking. I watched it.
All right.
We'll get him in.
Put him in. Fight against fucking injured. Put him in. But you know what I'm trying to say? Anyone that you have a question.
I killed him.
You fucking nearly killed me. Look at your CV. Put anyone that you've got a doubt on, give them 3 weeks.
There you go. Miller missed during the Pies. There you go.
Thank you.
Miller didn't play first of the Pies, but he played the other 2-3 weeks. He's played consistently. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with if there's players available and they feel a need, like you don't want to unnecessarily put people in for the sake of it. I agree with what Richmond Junior said before. I wouldn't mind seeing Samson Ryan get another crack. I felt really bad for his debut game just with the circumstances surrounding it. I didn't feel like that was a valid reflection on his talent and how hard he works. So I wouldn't mind seeing him get another crack at some stage too. But no, it is what it is. So viewers, start thinking of your questions. Before we get to the questions, I know I did sort of edit your post with the agenda CB for later on, but you've already touched on it, so I do want to raise it now. The Jack Riewoldt 300th game, what an absolute legend of the club. I mean, you look at all the stuff he's gone through when, there's questions over his leadership ability and his character and things like that. And then he, Rance, Koch and a few others were kind of single-handedly the part of that revolutionised our culture into what it is now. And what have you guys made of Jack's career with us before we get into the listener questions?
You guys said it.
I've always said if I had a schoolyard pick between Matthew Richardson and Jack Riewoldt, I would take Jack Riewoldt. That's how high I rate this guy. And if it wasn't for Dust, probably Jack is my favourite player, if I'm honest with you. Him and Dusty are on par. What an absolute pleasure we've had to watch this guy grow and develop into the man that he is, for starters. and elite footballer second. And mate, you just thank Christ he's a Richmond player. I mean, he's been a joy to watch. And unfortunately, all good things come to an end, and he's closer to the finish than the start. And I'm just going to enjoy every single opportunity I get to watch him, because I think he's an absolute Richmond champion.
I agree with 99.9% of what you just said to me, man, but I could not. No, if I was schoolyard and there was fucking Matthew Richardson right there.
I understand.
It'd be Richo.
It's a tough choice.
Nah, fucking Richo. I love Richo. Richo's my hero. Even now, I take off my underpants and try to take my in the street. I love that. I love the big lug. I love him. I absolutely love him. He played like a wog. You know what I mean, with the emotion and the passion and as a supporter. But seeing Jack, I remember when I first saw him come on board, two things struck me. I remember saying to my cousin at the time when we watched him, and I said, you know what? He's a smart footballer. His IQ is off, because you could tell he would lead before the ball actually got to his area, and that's very rare. So I think we've got a winner here. And his other things, for his size, his hands are amazing. If he can get that clunk, he'll grab it, and he's a one-grab player. So I love Jack. He's to give him the compliment is probably the highest praise I give to anyone. In the 17 grand final, I said to my youngest, I said, you know what? You know that bloke there? I said, he's your Matty Richardson. You know, he's lucky you get to see him in the bigger stage. I never got to see that with Richo, but you get to see it with Jack Rewalt. So, and he's a full clubman. You can never ask for his loyalty. He's everything that, just to see his growth, but his ability is first rate. People that undersell him don't know football. I love Jack. Yeah, he's done really well. Done us all proud. Done himself proud.
Absolutely. So we do wish Jack all the best for his 300th, and also congratulate him for the 700 goals as well. So that's a fantastic effort. All right, we're going to open the floor up to some listener questions. I've got the first one because I did see it come through. Tiggs, someone did ask before, has there been an update on the Bolton contract situation?
Don't stress. It's done. No, from what I heard, I asked that too. I said, because what worried me, Bolton 3-4 weeks ago, after he came back, he had his first game, did all right. Then the second, third, and fourth game were pretty shit. So I rang my mate and said, mate, you sure everything's – he goes, no, don't stress. And I said, but his form, he goes, he's playing injured, right? So some players can play injured, some players can't. So he turned the corner. He was one of our better midfield. I think he had 8 clearances. He drove us in the first half. He was excellent along with Dusty. So, I'm more than secure to say, I've got nothing to stress about Bolton. Nothing's changed. Now though, we're not going to make finals, and I think Hardwick realises we won't make finals. If the players don't, then maybe we'll get the announcement earlier than, generally finals week. But I reckon 100% he's staying.
All right, CB, I know we kind of spoke about it a little bit earlier. Oh, no, wrong one. It kept flicking down. Should Cochrane retire come season's end?
Oh, dude, that's a rough one. Okay, hear me out.
Should be easy.
I'm shooting Bambi. Personally, only my opinion, I'm actually a yes, because
that's it, fucking.
I think, only because I think it frees up the midfield spot that we need for the next generation. And if we are getting a Sarah over, that spot has to be available. So oh my God, I can't believe it. So I just think, personally, yes, but that's horrible. Yes.
He'll play again. He'll play next year. Signed on. 100% he's playing next year. 100%.
Yeah, for the record, if he does play on, I won't be upset.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I might just post up your Twitter handle just if anyone wants to direct feedback to CB's way. He'll put his Twitter handle up shortly. No, just joking. Tiggs. No, I've lost the question again. People keep sending him all through. Is Leper coming back?
Fucking how do I know? He's coming back. Give me a problem.
What about reword it? Would you like him to come?
That's a question. Yeah, is Leper coming back? No.
I don't think he's. I don't think he's going to do any.
He's media. He's media now.
He's very good.
I believe we might have a favourite son of the Tigers coming back. Not confirmed, just from what I'm hearing around the traps, might be coming back to the club. And I heard from a birdie who would know that a fair few of our players have been into Grig.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, Grigor is a very intelligent, forget the larrikin that you're seeing on the game, forget him as a player. As an idea, seeing the game open up and evolve, he's first rate, and we've allowed him to have a 2-year apprenticeship or whatever it is. And don't be surprised if the call comes out. If not this off-season, next off-season, come home.
Well, I remember Dimmer always saying about Grig, he was one of the smartest players on our list. So that's,
he would need a fair Terps bath and a scrub with a wire brush to get that Moe by the sea bullshit off him. Just saying.
He would have to get a start. Yeah, he'll come with us with the head wobble too. I fucked you guys over. He'll do that too. But no, I'd love him to come back to the club. Hopefully that's true. And there's going to be a bit of a coaching. We are definitely getting a coach. I heard that strongly, and I believe I'm hearing it. We realised we fucked out that 100K fine. We should have gone over the cap and got taxed. We left ourselves short this year.
Yes.
Well, to follow on from that, CB, how much of an impact has that missing 100K been? Like, I feel like it's something that's not very often mentioned outside of Richmond supporters who actually realise it's a huge, huge hit.
Been a massive problem for the club. I reckon it's been an understated problem behind the scenes for our coaching group, for the extra work they've had to take on. And I reckon you can see it with the disconnect in some of our ball movement. Some of the things, I just reckon it's that obvious. But the good news is it's only a problem for us for another 2 months, and then we get to rectify it. It's a very solvable problem, but I think it's an understated problem to what has happened at Richmond in the coach's box. Yes.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. I'm seeing a lot of trade questions coming through. Now, we will do another trade show a bit closer towards the end of the year, so I'm sure we'll answer a lot of those in due course. It's an interesting proposition with the succession plan at Hawthorn, Tiggs. Clarkson as Dimmer's assistant.
Clarkson as Dimmer's... Oh, no. That's, again, completely unrealistic. I romanticised about that. Would be great to happen, but won't happen.
It would be, yeah. Well,
it
would be nice, but trust in the club. All right. Thank you for everyone for sending through your questions. Like I said, all the trade ones, we will do a specific trade show in the coming weeks, and you can fire away as many as you want for that one. But preview of a big game coming up this week, Tiggs, against the Lions. It's, I won't say looking bleak, but with the players who got out and Dimmer kind of alluding to that there might not be many ready to come back in, how do you see this one playing out?
Look, it's the one that I want us to win. Sorry, guys, I just had a thing come through. Okay. Oh, shit. CB's just had a marriage proposal. My God.
Seriously, this is what you're waiting.
Yes.
Yes.
Can we start our own show? We'll do a spin-off. The Tig wants a wife, you know?
Yeah.
No, look, I fucking hate Brisbane. I'm going to put it out there. Sorry. Look, I'm Fagan. Everyone, he's a master. He's a master, Fagan, for me, because everyone thinks he's a nice old man. He's an absolute dog of a bloke. This is my opinion. He's given it to us. He's given it to us since he's got to that club. He's had these salty comments. Everyone gives it to the Geelong coach. He's worse, Fagan. And it's bled to his supporter group. It's bled to his player base in the respect that he has for us. And, you know, I pray two things to the game. Reith Masterson plays. I just pray for that, right? We don't have to worry about finals. We don't have to fucking right. So suspension, don't give a shit, right? No, seriously. No, you ask my opinion, I'm going to offer it, right? I'm not going to say do anything illegal, right? But, you know, he clotheslined short. You should have been reported. He never got it, right? And he smashed Baker. And he didn't get reported, didn't even give away a free kick. So I just want those two incidents repeated for the same result. I'd love to see that, you know. Look, I would love for us. We're not even close to getting to the level. In saying that, they're playing shithouse at the moment, right? And they lost Hipwood. So structurally, which is great, with Joe Danaher, who's a forward that can be taken out of the game. If you look at his time at Essendon, when he was the main go-to, if you put pressure on him, he would normally just become nothing. So we've got Grimes who can take Cameron. So funny enough, our weekend back line won't be as badly smashed. They don't scare me as much as they would if they had people just due to their structure. I think our Mansell and the others can cover their smaller mediums and do a fine enough job. It's just our midfield is going to be absolutely smashed. I just want us to see play with Richmond aggression. We played the first 2 quarters against Collingwood. We looked like Richmond. We did. We played the hunting the man, 3 tackling at the same time, kicking the ball to space, running our guts us and playing for each other, right? Really, for 3.5 quarters, we looked like that. Then we ran out of speed, ran out of puff. I want to see us do the same thing against Brisbane. One thing about Brisbane, if you speed the game up, you beat them. They're not a overly fast side, and they know this. So if we can play with the same intensity and speed the game up and keep it going and hopefully not run out of puff, we're a boxer's chance. But I would love to beat them. I would love to beat them and not win any other game for the rest of the year. If it meant that. That's how much I want us to win this game, but I don't see it.
CV?
Look, we're up against it. Look, all I'm really looking for this weekend is endeavour. Just give us 100% of effort and I'll walk away a happy man. I think it's just really unfortunate. I'll quickly do, as far as ins and outs, if you go by Damien Hardwick's presser, there's no one coming back. And maybe a child rolled his ankle in the first quarter.
Just on that, what was with the Nang thing? Because there was all this sort of speculation he was going to play last week, then all of a sudden wasn't. Do we know it was
twinned it again?
Oh, really? Okay.
Twinned it again. Yeah. No, nothing to be alarmed about, but they're taking no risk on him.
I don't blame him.
This is the point now. We're not going to be trashing Lamborghinis and Mercedes beds, mate, in cow paddocks. We'll be a very cautious club, I think, for the rest of the season, just gearing up for next year. But unfortunately, it's just so sad to see so many guys miss Jack's 300th. But then for the players that do run out in the field with Jack, it is an absolute privilege and honour for them to run out with such a legend. And like I said, I just hope they give him hell. Just go out there. Like I said, I hope Sydney Stack knocks the barometer's head into the Great Southern Stand. Yeah. That will be just sensational. But yeah, just give me effort. Just give me effort and attitude, and I'll be a happy man. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we'll probably see it in the first half, maybe 3 quarters. I feel like it's going to be one of those games we might just run out of petrol tickets in the last. The young guys are going to go full on. I mean, if you can't get up for Jack's 300th, then you'll never get up for anything else in your life as a player with that kind of game. And there's no doubt going to be a few of them there. They're going to be after retribution from how the game panned out last time. And it's just someone put in there before with our depleted back line. It's just going to be really hard to contain them. And if we don't get that midfield mixture right, and with Brisbane at full strength in the middle part of the ground, I just fear how easily they might get the ball through our mids at clearances, and we could just be completely bombarded. That's my biggest concern.
See, one thing we do well is when our backs are pressed against the wall. This is historically, even in our shit years, right? Remember the old adage, Richmond will lose games that they should, but always win the games that no one rates them to win. Would pull it out of our rectum. So I don't think we're not without a chance, but we've got to have to get a lot going our way. But I'm remiss of me. Can I just say and just recognise for a second Dustin Martin's game? Yeah. He with no support or minimal support, his standard level's been so consistent. I think by the sake of the fact that we haven't had the personnel, he hasn't been able to be as creative. He's got to be more disciplined, more accountable, so he can't do, forward, kicking goals, all the other great stuff we like to see. But he showed for 3.5 quarters, under pressure against a fully stacked Collingwood midfield, he still kicked, 2 goals. He was still dangerous. He was still driving the ball. He showed the difference where he's at. compared to their Kmart. Kmart only came into going when they were completely on top. Our midfield just completely lost all pressure, and Dusty went to the forward to rest because he was tanked. He couldn't do no more. That's the only time he had his 2 touches and looked okay. And I'm just proud of Dusty's year. I reckon this is not going on another tangent here, but people telling about captain, either Lynch or Dusty for me. They're my 2 main guys from what I've seen.
Yeah, I'd actually back Dusty for captain. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, he loves the club.
Just some numbers to consider when we talk about where it could be won and lost. And these are season averages. Inside 50s, Brisbane averaged basically 56 to our just under 52. Contested possessions, 143 lines to 132 for us. Uncontested, Brizzy at 197 and we're at 219. But this is the biggie. Clearances, Brisbane 38 and we averaged 30. Centre clearances, they averaged just under 13. We averaged just under 12. And stoppage clearances, a massive 25.4 to the lines versus 18.6 to us. So that midfield ruck section is a genuine concern for us.
Absolutely. If we don't get that mix right, we are going to get slaughtered in the middle. And that just inadvertently puts the defenders under immense pressure. And with the lack of experience we've got down there, it just makes it really difficult. Just on the defence quickly.
One more thing. Respect to Marlon Pickett, who got absolutely poleaxed multiple times going up against bigger blokes on the weekend, and he just kept going back in. And you got to respect a bloke who does that because I felt for it. He got absolutely smashed a couple of times.
That stoppage stat is why I'm saying that we need to keep the game fast. See, they love to slow it down and create a stoppage because that's where they're really good at. If we can somehow keep the game out wide, try to get it onto one-on-ones, get it on a 2-on-2s, to try to, minimise free kick or that stoppage will go a long way. But can I ask you boys and the listeners a question? Why wouldn't, instead of playing Pickett, which I'm worried we're going to kill him. We're going to kill him, right? The next sequence. Why wouldn't they get a tall bloke? Garthwaite, I don't care, you're not a ruck, mate. Just jump.
Yeah. We do it.
Why wouldn't they do that?
We do it broad, didn't we?
Yeah, I actually thought that Garthwaite might have ventured into the ruck at some point. I was actually waiting for him to drift forward. Yeah, I didn't mind Garthwaite's game, if we can touch on that quickly. I thought, given the time he's been out of the AFL side, I thought he handled himself okay.
It's his kicking action. It's not suited to senior footy. A VFL, because of the speed of the game, he illustrates where he's kicking the ball. If that makes sense, because of his ball drop, he's weird. He's accurate with his kick. Don't misunderstand me. But how he holds the ball and drops it, his technique, it tells the opposition exactly where he's kicking it to. Yeah. If that makes sense, because a normal kicking action, you can do a side kick, you can look one way and kick another. He can't do that. He just can't do it. So that's his biggest Achilles heel.
All right, we'll talk some matchups. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Tiggs, how are you seeing Harris Andrews versus Lynch? How do you think Lynch will go?
If Lynch gets some supply, actually, I'll put it this way, in fairness, because we're going to get smashed in the midfield. On a fair one-on-one, Lynch smashes him. Because Harris Andrew can't play one-on-one, in my opinion. He's mediocre defender one-on-one. If it goes what I'm nightmarishly scared of, we get this shit, crappy fucking miss kick, and it goes to numbers and allows Harris Andrews to spread off Lynch, he will clean Lynch up. Lynch will kick probably 2 goals. And I'll say Harris Andrews 1. But, fuck. Excuse the language, but I just hope he gets a clean run at Lynch. He'll beat Harris Andrews if it's one-on-one, if he can isolate.
Now, CB, you've written Adams versus Lynch, but I assume that's Rewalt, so it's meant to be.
Yeah. Last game, Adams gave Lynch an absolute. Adams gave Jack an absolute bath last game.
Yeah,
and it really impacted us. And to be honest, if Jack can squeak a couple out, we'll take that. So
you want him to shine for his 300th, don't you? Like
you do. But I think he's in. Adams is in very good form at the moment. So I think Jack will be up against it for sure.
Can we just highlight Mark Aldrich's comment? That is just like gold. That is big BF Tigercast gold. That gets my funny bone. I've got to highlight that comment. That's brilliant.
Right,
there we go. Fully agree. Bravo, sir. Win the internet. That's just gold.
Who's the next
Look, it's just him short, running up. High five it up, got it. In comes Baker.
Michaels, how do you see the ruck duel? McInerney versus Joel.
As the shortest person on this panel, I think I'm qualified to discuss this at length. I like Joel. I feel bad for him that he has to bear the full load of the ruck work, and he's obviously carrying some kind of a niggle as well. I think his rucking stuff he's actually been improving as the weeks have gone on. He's understanding it a bit more, and I've always said he's a better first ruck than he is a forward. The problem we've got is when it's general play and the opposition ruckman goes into their forward line, his defence work is shithouse. I suppose we're comparing it to Nank, so that's probably a little bit unfair, but he just gets decimated and doesn't impact the contest enough when he's fighting back defensively. So I want to see him improve that part of his game because his actual ruck work is going okay. He's quick and nimble around the ground when the ball hits the deck. But yeah, I just want to see him impact the game on a defensive stand. So fingers crossed.
You know what my nickname for Chol is? Look, and I agree with everything you said, right? And I've been a defender of Chol. I have been. But I have to say, what shits me about Chol is, with all what you just said, then nothing stops a person contesting a contest, right? He hasn't got a tank. And if he was a car, he'd be a 2-litre car, right? Because only two things come in 2 litres is juice and milk. And that's how he plays. He'll do the one contest and that's it. He's got to, if he really wants to make a career as a ruck forward, he's got to push forward more often. He's got to keep on doing it. When we're on top, he looks good. When we're struggling, he disappears. And you can't have that with the big boy. So
yeah.
But he shouldn't cop the hate he cops. He's out of his depth and he's trying. You know, I applaud him for that. He's highlighting his weaknesses, and I don't think as a first ruck, there's no way.
Yeah, and we've got to remember, we've been blessed with having Soldo and Nankervis for, the last few years playing at the same time kind of thing. So Charles been thrown to the wolves a little bit, but he just has to learn to do a little bit better defensively, that's all. Next, Neil versus Martin, Tiggs.
Oh, that'd be I wish they played. I wish they played on each other because what it would be, it'd be a handshake and off I go and, off we go. But look, I rate Neil as a player, always have. When he was at Freo, he didn't get – if he played for Richmond or Collingwood or Geelong, he'd be rated a superstar, absolute superstar. He's smart inside, he's smart outside. He has a work rate, like he runs all days, back and forwards, and he's very good. He's an intelligent footballer. He knows how to kick the space and when's the best time to release by hand or foot. So he's a complete midfield package. And in saying that, Dustin Martin's GOAT, right? If Dustin Martin gets the supply, gets the support, I should say, Dustin Martin can be damaging, real damage. That's why he's torn him to shreds when we have a full complement of team every game he's played against Brisbane. But yeah, Dusty's going to have his work cut out. So they won't play on each other, I don't think. I think if there's any game we need to tag, it's going to be this one, and he's the bloke that we need to tag.
Yeah.
I agree. They're going to just run separate ways, like you said at the start. But
right, mate. All right, Michaels. Grimes versus Motorbike Man. How are we going to go?
We always look forward to this one, don't we? Not just us three, but just Richmond supporters in general, because we know how good Grimesy is. I think he'll take him for the most part, but I'd actually like to see Mansell have a crack as well, because I just think Mansell's got that bit more mongrel in him that'll make him earn a few more of those kicks and marks he might get than what Grimes or Grimes is. With no Hipwood, if he's not playing, I would rather see Grimes be that third man up play that we typically have seen him do, and let Mansell have a crack at at Cameron and just wear him like a glove because he will not take shit. But it should be an interesting one. Last one for you, CB. Asprey versus Danaher.
Yeah. I think Danaher's going to be too mobile for him, if I'm honest. If that ball is coming in at the rate of knots that we're sort of sweating bullets about, I think Dave's in for it. Won't be any fault of Dave's, but I think he's in for a rough night. And if we can keep Danaher to anything under 3 goals, 3 and under, I think we've gone all right because Joe's moving all right. And, I just think it'll be too mobile for Dave, but we'll see what happens.
What I'm hoping we do is be a bit brave and put Mansell on Cameron. That'll free up Grimes and Asprey. So Asprey gets Danaher deep. Grimes gets at Danaher when he likes to lead up to the ground. That's the only way I can see us defending their 2 main keys forward. Mansell can do the job.
This is where Broad being out.
Yeah, I know.
They do that rolling defense.
Yeah, we don't have it. We don't have Loston.
We don't have that handover ability, do we? Like when the other players leading up the ground, we've kind of got to stay with what the matchup is. We can't roll and chop and change, which is something we've been so good at over the last 4 years.
Correct. Their whole defensive system is rooted at the moment. Yeah. And there's nothing we can do about it. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I say. Turn up, enjoy it. So long as we give effort and application, just be happy with that, I think.
Agree. And with that, we'll get some tips, including margins. Tiggs?
Oh, I hate tipping against the Tigers, mate. It really upsets me. I'll go after this. I'll crack open a VB, go in the backyard in the fucking dark and cold, and just have a bit of a sook to myself. But you know what? We're due for a win. Fuck it. Ladies and gentlemen, fuck it. We're due for a win, right? And I'm a lucky man, right? I'm always lucky for wife, married 25 years. Beautiful kids, huge thing. So, yeah, I'm going to go work on my luck. I reckon Richmond by a point, right? Which will be just the best thing. Richmond by a point.
We'll take that. Take that every day of the week.
By a point. By a point. 3 kicks, dead set. Brisbane. It's played on the G. Is it on the G?
It is, yep.
Is it a night or day game?
Friday night.
No, Friday 2 o'clock.
Are we wearing our original Guernsey or our away Guernsey?
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Because it makes it different with the fucking Nuggets, but all right. Factoring it in, I would say Richmond will get 13 frees, 4. And they'll be like dead set obvious ones, right? Like fucking dead set obvious ones. And Brisbane will get 26, 27 frees. But we'll win by a point. 1 point.
Not a bad suggestion there, Simon. Switch it to Metricon. Don't mind that. CV?
Yeah, look, Lions have had it too good for too long. They're due for a loss. I agree. Tigers by 10. Celebrating Jack Rerolt's bloody 300. Stick it up them. Umpires will slaughter us 24-16, including a run in the third quarter of 6 straight against us.
6. That's very specific. I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like our Twitter handles are going to get lit up at about 3/4 time this Friday night, the way this is going. Look, I'll be devil's advocate. I sadly think that Brisbane and the rebound are going to torch us.
You prick.
Oh. You're the one that made us lose. If we lose, you're going to get you monsters, mate.
You just lost the audience, mate. Well done.
That's it. Do it for Jack. Look at Jack Greenwald.
All right, I'll go Tigers by 8 for Jack. Tigers by 8 for Jack.
Bravo.
Oh, there you go. I promise you I didn't read that and steal that. It's just happened at the same time.
Boys and girls, this is proof positive that you stick fat with your club. You stick fat no matter what. This is proof positive.
Hard times bring hard people, Michaels.
That's it.
Absolutely. No, fair enough. I did go a bit soft there at the start. But like we said earlier on, Friday night, 7:50 at the G. Jack Rewalt's 300th game. If for nothing else, get out there to show your love and support for Jack and the great times he's given us over his career. He might have a bit left in him, but I think he just deserves all the support he can get, no matter how good or bad we're travelling as a side. Just get out there, cheer as loud as you can. And I know back when we lost Tiggs, you were calling for a big turnout for this game just as a bit of a retribution for the way they carry on. So do yourselves a favour, folks. Get out there, support the boys, and just enjoy the ride, as CB said.
And I'll just say this, apparently North Melbourne are beating West Coast.
They are by 4 points currently.
And see, look, West Coast haven't got that many injuries. Like, they're just shit. West Coast is a team that have aging players that are falling off a cliff. It's a completely different story at Tigerland.
And there'll be a couple of wankers I'll be going back for in my 2 threads on Bay 13. Have I lit that up with Geelong and West Coast supporters? I shall be returning to that after this broadcast and talking to the West Coast supporters. They were certainly chipper after our loss.
Oh, gosh. So good luck with that. But hopefully the boys get a win this week. It's going to be a long road to try and get one, but hopefully they can get up for Jack's 300th. And we wish him and the players all the best. So thank you for joining us tonight, gents. Much appreciated. Thank you to all the live viewers. Please make sure you follow us on our YouTube and Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, whatever platform you're on. We always appreciate your love and support. And hopefully we're back on Monday, fingers crossed, somehow, talking about a win. So go Tigers for Friday night.
Keep the faith, people.
Boys and girls. Keep the faith.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time, guys. Love you.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.